when our toes get stepped on, then we always say, oh, but it is all relative. Okay, so duality exists in all of us, and at the same time, we all know that duality is relative. What is my duality and your duality, the color of that will be very different. Make sense? Okay. That is to say that you have to acknowledge two things, and that is, you are, one way to look at yourself is to see the duality that you are. And the other way to look at yourself is to see how your duality differs from another person's duality. Okay? So by nature what we do is we have a reference point of duality. This is my boundary. If it goes here, I'm young. If it goes here, I'm old. If it goes here, I'm rich. If it goes here, I'm poor. If it goes here, I'm happy. If it goes here, I'm sad. So my reference line is my reference line, and I see the world through my reference line. Okay? But because it is relative, it is impossible. It is impossible that another person would have the exact same reference line. Okay? So by default, what will end up happening is that I will be different than you. But what is my inherent nature? My inherent nature is to superimpose. I want to be friends with somebody whose relative line matches with my line of this duality. Does that make sense? Okay. So Adhyaropa talks about superimposition. So think about every encounter, or perhaps many encounters that you've had. When you're friends because you realize that there is similarity at that reference point. Your duality is similar to mine. But the moment you realize that your duality is different from somebody else's, there is not a meeting of the mind. You create conflict. It happens in relationship, it happens in friendship, it happens at work, all over the place, all the time. And we get upset by it. We come to love somebody as a friend or as a partner or what have you, and we see all the alignment because we don't know if they're aligned, but we superimpose. Yeah? We like this person, and if that person is kind enough to want to like us or like me, then we adjust. We temporarily guise our reference points. Make sense? Our lines, instead of being straight, ends up being crooked and wider and gray. Okay? So why? So that we can adjust our lines on both sides to superimpose what I am and how different you are, and what he or she is and how different I am from him or her, and try to bring it to alignment if there is a willingness from both sides. Does that make sense? What does that mean? We're willing to relax our duality in order for us to be able to superimpose. Make sense? Okay. So we superimpose on each other, and then time goes by, and one little deviation takes place from the width that I'm willing to allow, and then all of a sudden I feel a conflict. I feel like, why is this person not agreeing with me? We weren't getting along so well, and the same thing happens from another. So what ends up happening is that this thin line, we widen it and we constrict it. We widen it and we constrict it. Why? Because it's all relative. Why? Because we know that the precise line that we walk cannot possibly be the precise line that somebody else can walk on. Because our life is filled with our experiences. Our lives are filled with our educations and our belief systems and our dogmas. And so it cannot be precise. And unless I had my mirror image, it will not be precise. So what ends up happening is, when this superimposition in its softer sense is not very well aligned, then we want to harden the superimposition. What I want to do is I want to convert you to me. Make sense? Okay. So I say, I believe this, why can't you believe this? Or I like this, why can't you do the same? Or I think in this pattern, why can't you think in this pattern? Okay? To bring, again, alignment. But that does not happen. Make sense? Because we all are dualistic in our thinking, and it is impossible that all of those lines are going to align. Okay, so the question is, why are we dualistic? Why the conflict? Yeah? Why? Why do we have these things? Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to bring it down. So first things first, do you feel like this is relevant for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right. So one of the things, because we are having this conversation within the context of yoga, of course Bhagavad Gita is talking about yoga. By now we know what yoga is. Yoga is unique. Yoga is self-realization. Yoga is understanding that you cannot exist in the realm of duality. It is impossible for you to exist in the realm of duality. Sooner or later it will crumble, because you will find fallacies all over the place within yourself by the reference point that you have made up, you have created as a result of your life's experiences. So at the end of the day, you will find, if in this time, great. If not in this time, even greater. You have another lifetime and another lifetime and another lifetime. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that there will come a point, you will not evolve, you will not stop evolving until you realize that you cannot exist in the realm of reality and be happy. Even the term happy is dualistic, because if you're happy, there has to be unhappiness, and that is your reference point of what makes you happy and what makes you not happy. That makes sense? So you'll have to destroy the reference point itself. If you destroy the reference point, what is dividing happiness versus unhappiness, rich versus poor, will have to merge. And if it merges, then you will realize that there is no happiness outside of you, there is no unhappiness outside of you. There is no rich or there is no poor outside of you. It is all within you. And if it is all within you, then there is nothing for you to go after. You are complete by yourself. And if you are complete by yourself, you have realized who you truly are. And that is the state of self-realization. Until that happens, you will keep on evolving. You will keep on trying to understand. And it's like, imagine yourself, your being, as a little metal ball inside a tin can, and somebody is jarring you around. Yeah? You're going to bounce against the wall all the time. And this is your lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Until you become so malleable and ductile that you don't make any sound anymore. You become very soft. And you take up the entire container. So there is no wall for you. You become part of the wall. And then you will not bounce around. And then you will become harmonious with all there is to be. You are shattered into a million pieces. And you become part of the atom, of the air, of the molecules, of the structure, of not only the air contained within, but the container itself. And that is your state of prevailing as knowing who you truly are. Okay? So then, duality will go away. You will not feel separate from me. I will not feel separate from you. We will realize that everything that we are witnessing is an illusion. It is an illusion we have created. I have created as a result of my lack of intelligence and lack of understanding what true yoga really is. And because I see myself as a container in itself, and I cannot expand that container, that I see you as somebody outside of the container. And you do the same thing, and all of us does the same thing all the time, which creates a lot of friction, because our references will not align, and we will want to superimpose whoever we think we are onto you. If it aligns, we'll be happy together. If it doesn't align, you and I will fight. That is happening all around the world today. Okay? I'm going to bring in another concept here that you may find interesting, and that is some of the qualities that creates our strengths and weaknesses, by result of which we want to superimpose on another. So you are all very familiar, hopefully by now, that yoga has various systems, various ways, and various lenses, colored glasses, so to say, by which we put on and we try to understand who we are through that system. Make sense? And as we get to know that system more and more, what we learn to do is that we turn those colored glasses into clear glasses. Okay? So, you know that koshas, or the shells, is one such system that we have talked about in the past. If you don't know what that is, do not worry. I'm sure at some other point in time we'll cover that. Another system that yogis in the Western world may be familiar with is the concept of chakras. You have heard the word chakras. Okay. I'm going to explain a little bit about chakras. And particularly, I'm going to expand it from the context of superimposition. we have 7 chakras, as we know in the Western world. 7 chakras within us. In reality, there are many, many chakras. There are hundreds of chakras within our system, but 7 major ones, which we spend quite a bit of time on studying. Okay? So I'm not going to go too much into the details of what they are, what their purposes are. I'll briefly cover purposes, but where they're located, their qualities and such. You can pick up any book anywhere and kind of learn that. So our chakras have qualities. Okay? At the root, at the base of our body, there is a chakra. We call it the first chakra because it rises up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 are below, 3 are on the top, and the middle one is our heart chakra, which is the 4th one. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4th is the heart chakra, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the first chakra is our base chakra. It's called Muladhara, but the particular characteristic that it gives is dominance and presence. It's self-existence. Okay, so if you look at human evolution, that was the first chakra that had to be continuously exercised in order for us to exist. It is creating space for us. It is fending and defending ourselves. It is making sure that we are protected, we survive. Okay? It's the primal instinct of what we need to do to exist, to survive. Okay?